never mind next week. We've got to talk about today first.
Yes, what a day.
Yes. Anthony Scaramucci?
Well, what'd you miss? You missed a lot.
When do we stop pretending, though, that these are like extraordinary
I know,
days?
everyone's like,
this has become the norm.
Everyone's
right?
like, oh, was it a busy week? I'm like, it's been a busy 2 years.
Right.
Listen, Anthony Scaramucci, Skybridge Capital, very familiar in Wall Street, not too familiar with the Washington crowd, and they're not too familiar with him. So it'll be interesting to see how he meshes with them, but also Sarah Huckabee Sanders getting that promotion, well-deserved. She's very well-respected amongst cross-Republican circles inside the Beltway.
It's pretty extraordinary, Scaramucci's story, because it seemed like he was going to get a job initially. It didn't happen. Then it was like the OECD. I think he was going to be an ambassador there.
Don't forget the export-import bank.
And then the export, these sort of jobs that didn't seem like he would probably be very excited about them. And then one day here he is on TV with like a pretty serious inner circle job.
Yes, and as someone who has the president's trust, and the world that he comes from within the Trump political orbit, is the what are called the originals, so to speak, the original staffers, the more controversial ones, the ones who did not have the political experience that Reince Priebus has or Sean Spicer has. I will tell you that in terms of the Washington political consultant economy, so to speak, these folks are the ones that represent all of the businesses. They're going to be competing for which contracts to get. But I can tell you that Sean Spicer, also very well respected inside Washington, someone who definitely will be a player, so to speak, in Washington circles, even when he's outside of the White House. He has direct lines with Reince Priebus, direct lines with the Speaker's office, and was the communications director for the RNC.
And he doesn't take over until the end of August, remember, but oh boy, he's going to have some fun times.
Yeah.
Obviously ongoing at this moment is the Robert Mueller investigation. That's been a hot topic this week. Suggestions of Donald Trump, the president, trying to find ways perhaps to get out of it if something is found here. We reported this week that the investigation has been materially expanded. Yeah. Where do we leave that as we end this week, heading into next week?
Well, we still don't know as of now whether or not they're going to testify, they being Donald Trump Jr. and former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort. There's increasing pressure for the Senate investigations to follow suit from the intelligence community investigations into the business dealings, particularly from Democrats. I spoke with the top Democrat on the Senate Finance Committee, also a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, which has a closed-door briefing with Jared Kushner on Monday. And that, of course, is Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from a Democrat from Oregon. You'll forgive me, I'm
it's been a long day.
but take a listen to what he had to tell him about all this.
The president is way off base in saying that Bob Mueller can't get into these financial issues. They are very much linked to the work we've set out to do. I mean, going back as far as 2008, the president's sons have said that much of their portfolio was linked to Russian money. We don't have the president's tax returns. We don't know anything about borrowing money from the Russians. So I think Bob Mueller is very much appropriately thinking based on the news reports about these issues.
Enough. Let's talk about policy.
Yes, policy.
Talk to me about healthcare. Talk to me about tax. Talk to me about the budget next week as well.
Okay, so let's first and foremost, healthcare likely getting a vote on Tuesday. Doesn't really have the votes. Regardless of that, lawmakers in the Republican Party want to move on to tax policy. They want to move on to deregulatory financial policy. And in order to do that, they have to first advance out of the House of Representatives a budget, or a minibus, so to speak, because it has this term reconciliation, which I know everyone in Wall Street's been hearing a lot about lately. That sets the rules for them to address tax reform. So that's why this minibus budget bill is so important.
Haven't they had some votes on that in the House that haven't gone so well?
Yes, and they have to do a new process every time. They had to do it for healthcare. Now they have to do it again for tax reform, and as a result, these pieces of deregulatory policy that they could tack on to some of that tax reform.
Now, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Paul Ryan saying, look, we're much more together on taxes than we are on healthcare. This is going to be an easier. See, that's what I'm wondering, because where are the revenues going to come from? I know these are controversial
topics. I missed, because they're not. Listen, they have on revenue neutrality, on the border adjustment tax, there are just as steep political divisions that exist within the Republican Party as there are on healthcare.
Just say that again.
What'd you miss?
There you go.
What'd you miss? I've always wanted to say it.